Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful double exposure effect with a colorful background. My name is Olivio and I'm a professional designer. If you want to do this, I have linked the files that I'm using here in the video description, and as a Patreon supporter you get my Affinity Photo file with all the layers. You can see exactly what I've done. Alright, so here is some advice that makes life a lot easier for you if you use your own pictures. First of all, use a silhouette, so photograph yourself in front of a very bright background. And then also you want to position yourself in a way that your form is very easily readable. So you can see this is a side view of a portrait. So this means that you can easily see where the nose is, the mouth, the chin, where the hair is. So it is very easy to understand in what direction the head is facing. Okay, I will select this and switch it over to the other side with arrange and flip horizontal like this. And then what I want to do is, you can see here on the right side, let's rename this to face. You can see in brackets it says image, and that is a problem if I want to select and copy something. If you have that, simply right click on that folder and say rasterize, and you can see now in brackets it says pixel, which means I can now do a selection if I want to, because I want to get rid of these parts here and also of the glass and the hand. So the first step I'm going to do is to just resize this a little bit. Maybe that is already enough, but it is not. This is already pretty good. The next step I'm simply going to do here is to select everything here like so, and then I'm simply going to select invert pixel selection and delete everything I don't need here. Let's turn off this other layer, and you can see right now that I have this white background instead of a transparent background. If you see a checkerboard pattern here, simply go to document and unhook transparent background, so you get a white background here, right? So that's very easy. To make the background even right now, I want to create a rectangle like this, and then I pull this behind my image like so, and I will pick the color up here, pick the color from my background to make it exactly the same. So I have a very even background. I need that because the next step is that down here where you see the tab for channels, I will click on one of these channels to create my alpha channel, my selection channel. Now, if you don't see that, go up to view and then to studio and look for channels. You can see it here, make a check mark next to that. Okay. So let's click on this, and you can see that my background is a little bit gray here. And to avoid that, to fix that, what I'm going to do is to create an adjustment layer for brightness and contrast. And I'm simply going to push up the contrast very high. And you can see now everything is white in the background, because we need that to have a mask where we have everything deselected from the background. That's really important. So now that we have this high contrast layer, this high contrast view, what you want to do is to right click on that channel you want to use and say load to pixel selection. You can see it looks like this now. And now simply click on the mask layer icon, and this will create a mask for you like this. On your keyboard, press Ctrl D to deselect everything. Then down where you have the channels tab, click on this little circular arrow here to bring everything back to be colorful again. And right now you're not seeing very much. This is okay because we need to apply the mask. So let's turn everything off here so we can see our beautiful picture, this one. This is what we want to use. You can use any other picture, of course, but here's another advice you want to look out for. Use a picture where the content also is easily readable. That means that it easily is understandable what is happening in that picture, because otherwise it is going to be confusing and unsatisfactory to look at. Okay, so we are going to use this as the foreground and as the background, which means I will simply duplicate that layer. So right click on that and duplicate that. That's the first step. Then I'm going to use the mask and pull it onto one of these layers like so. You can see here right now, we have now this. You can see our mask is going the wrong way. No problem, select the mask and then go to layer and invert. And now you can see we have the picture inside of our silhouette. This is how easy that is. All right, here is another thing to look out for. When you click on that picture now, make sure up here where it says lock children, there is a hook. That's important because when we move our picture around, when we resize our picture, we want the mask to stay in place, right? That is very important. Okay, so now we can make this, for example, a little bit bigger like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so here are the next steps. This is really important. Watch the full video. What you want to do is to select your other copy of the background, make that visible again, and then go to Effects, Gaussian Blur, and for example, enter here 500. You can use any value you want. Maybe 500 is a bit too much. Let's go with 200, like this. Okay, that looks already pretty nice, but I want to stretch this out to make it bigger. And here is the creative part where you want to figure out what kind of part to use from that picture. Now you can see that the sides are blurry here. If you want it, you can keep it like that. If not, simply hook on Preserve Alpha and then you have a sharp edge. So you can go both ways. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to overlay both of them to create a more complex background, basically. But we have to see. Let's play around a little bit with that, right? Let's zoom in here again so we see everything we are working with. And you can see that in some areas of the picture, like up here where we have the hair, but also down here where the neck is, our picture is a little bit hard to see. We can fix that in a very easy way. Look at that. I'm going back to my layers and I'm going to select my silhouette layer. Let's call this the head right here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to create a pixel layer in here, drag that inside here, and let's call this DG for Dodge and Burn, and I'm going to set this to soft light like so. Then I'm going to use a paintbrush, set this to a nice big size, black as the color, opacity low, in this case I have 35%, hardness 5%, so it's very soft, and now I can simply brush around the outside here a little bit, also over here a little bit. You can see this makes the parts of this picture darker, and then I will tap several times down here in the middle so our neck also gets a little bit darker down here, like so. That looks beautiful. Perfect. So now I can see that a little bit better, but we can still play around with that, of course. What you have seen in the original picture is something else, because right now the background is nice, you can keep it like that, but I feel like there could be a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I have downloaded an image of scratched aluminum, of scratched metal, and we will use this as a grunge map. So what we're going to do is to pull this down on top of our background. This is important. Let's rename this to background so we can see what is going on. And now right now it's like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the blend mode to something else. For example, we can use overlay, we can use soft light. You can play around with that to see what you want. Let's keep overlay. It's a little bit more detailed, a little bit sharper. It's too much, of course, so I'm going to reduce the opacity to a degree where I feel like, okay, that looks good. Like, for example, like this. Okay, good. Another thing we can do here is that we can create an adjustment for curves for our background layer. So let's pull this in here. And this can now help me to adjust the brightness, also the contrast of the background a little bit. So I will push this in here a little bit like so. And this is up to your taste. Play around with this so you get the result you want to have. Let's pull this down maybe a little bit over here so we get a little bit more detail. Okay, so now that we've done this, here is the next thing that I was talking about before. I will right click and duplicate my background picture. So now nothing has changed, but they are sitting on top of each other. So when I now move one of them over here, for example, like this, you can see that the picture is ending right here, but I can use this to say, okay, maybe I want to have the left side a little bit more blue, the right side a little bit more red. I can even zoom out here and I can rotate that to give me different parts of the picture. and just move this around until I find something that I'm happy with. And just play around with that. You can be super playful with that. You can also go in here and say, okay, this is nice, but I want to have it even more blurry. So let's go, for example, with 300 like this. And as you can see, this helps me to create a nice custom background that has the colors, that has the lightness, the darkness exactly in the areas where I want to have them. So really be playful, be creative with that, and just see what you get from that. You can see that this result is different than our starting picture that we can see right here, but it's still a beautiful result. So you can see it's very easy to get different results and add different elements. By the way, here's the last thing I want to tell you, and this is, you can see here in the hair selection, this time it looks pretty good, I would say, but if you feel like this is too much hair, this is an easy fix. You can see here we have our head with the mask, so the only thing you need to do is to take a brush, and now I could go in here if I wanted to and simply paint out the areas. Like I said, okay, I don't want to have too much hair, let's reduce it a little bit, like this. One thing you want to look out for here is if you do that, don't remove all of the hair, just remove a lot of the hair, but leave a little bit here, because otherwise you end up with a head that has kind of a strange edge to it. A blurry edge doesn't look good, so leave a little bit of that hair texture in here. You can see also over here, you could say, okay, I'm going to reduce a little bit of these details, but I want to keep some of that in there so it still looks like natural hair. Alright, that was the tutorial for today. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know, post your results in the Facebook group, and if you post it on Instagram, please tag me so I can look at that too. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.